I knew zero about Perlis, probably about the same as 98% of my fellow Malaysians. Unfortunately, I was considered, a lot of Malaysians with no impression of Perlis.
Growing up in Taiping, we are always very proud being Taiping Lang. There's a lot of difference growing up in those days and today. Other than that, Taiping is very much about nature. It's a perfect retirement town for everybody.
Saya adalah pengerusi Persatuan Kebudayaan dan Kesenian Orang Asal Perak. Di tempat kerja saya hanya merakam gambar-gambar event dan juga gambar portret apa-apa yang peristiwa yang berlaku di dalam politeknik. Di luar, saya cuba dokumentasikan wajah-wajah orang asli dan juga saya cuba mempromosikan kebudayaan orang asli dan juga pakaian tradisional orang asli.
I am a wildlife photographer at the moment. Wasn't always a wildlife photographer to begin with. I went to university in the UK to study law. Then I came back, worked for 2 years in advertising. Then I continued with my career in musical theatre for a couple of years until 2017 when I started becoming more active in the conservation field. And here I am in 2024, a wildlife photographer.
Pada mulanya, saya berasakan amat perlu untuk kita dokumentasikan pakaian tradisional orang asli ni. Sebab semakin lama pakaian tradisional semakin dilupakan. Jadi saya ambil inisiatif, start bermula daripada 8 tahun lepas. Saya rakamkan pakaian tradisi tersebut dan juga wajah-wajah orang asli, terutama sekali anak muda lah, dan saya postkan di media sosial Facebook dan Instagram bertujuan untuk menaikkan semangat dan juga yakin kepada diri mereka sendiri, di samping tu dapat meningkatkan jati diri mereka.
After being away for close to 20 years from the sports world, in 2015, I've decided to organize Malaysia Mountain Trail Festival here in Taiping. The plan is to organize it only for 3 years. However, the race became very successful from the word go. Then it came to this mind of mine, the vision of wanting to make Taiping a trail running and hiking destination. We actually make an application to the Forestry Department of Perak to have the trail gazetted. So our application was approved by the state government. From then onwards, we are given 9 acres parcel of land. So basically, we gave the place a major facelift. What we want to show people is the beautiful part of a chain reaction of what we do. So basically, it gives everyone economic opportunity, if you may say.
The first book that I ever read was a book about this duckling, this yellow duckling, and I really, really loved that book, and I think that was what really sparked off my affection for animals and wildlife. Things changed when I met with Dr. Jane Goodall. During her second visit to Malaysia in 2017, that was when she asked me, so what is the state of Malaysia's primates, right? And at the time, I thought, well, I don't know, I'm in musical theatre. But in 2017, Google did not even have a comprehensive species list. There was nothing for me to even know, what the state of primates was. I didn't even have a full list of how many species of primates are there in Malaysia. When I started talking with different NGOs and different researchers, I said, what can I do to change this situation, to make this better? I don't come from a science background, so I can't do you graphs, I can't do you DNA analyses, but I can take photos if that is useful. And so that's how I started, So I take photos and hand them out to different NGOs or researchers and just doing postings and informing myself about our own wildlife and about our own primates, and that was literally how I got started.
Apa yang mencetuskan saya untuk buat sedemikianlah. Saya nampak belia orang asli dan juga anak muda orang asli ni dia agak kurang berkeyakinan. Jadi saya ambil inisiatif tu untuk menaikkan jati diri dia orang, semangat dia orang dengan kemahiran yang saya ada, iaitu fotografi lah. Kampung ni dah berusia lebih kurang 100 lebih tahun dan kita adalah generasi yang ke-7. Budaya dan warisan kampung ni, kalau dahulunya memang kita ada mengamalkan perayaan Gendulang, iaitu perayaan tu dia disambut selepas hari menuai padi, dan sekarang ni perayaan tu sudah tak disambut sebab ketiadaan pawang lah. Tapi saya di dalam persatuan cuba ambil inisiatif untuk menghidupkan balik perayaan ni tanpa menggunakan perkhidmatan pawang. Kita hanya bawa bukan budaya tu dan juga perayaan tu kembalilah.
I rather let the natural process. Saya faham.
Dia pun dah mula tumbuh pokok baru kan.
Yeah.
So dia kacau ekosistem.
I've always loved nature, and I've always felt a lot more at home in a natural surrounding than I would in the middle of a shopping mall. I can't remember a time where I was not enjoying myself outside. So I was very fortunate that at that time when I was looking for the stump-tailed macaque, I got to hear about Mr. Shamil. So Shamil is actually the first person to do research on the population of Buruk Kentoy here in Perlis, right? So this is amazing because the Malaysian population of Buruk Kentoy or stump-tailed macaque only exists here in Wang Kelian, behind me, if you can see. They do exist further north, sometimes to the foothills of the Himalayas as well. The closest population in Thailand, I think, is over 100 kilometers away from us. So it's amazing that there is this population here that we know nothing about, that a lot of Malaysians don't know anything about. When I first came to Perlis, to Wang Kelian, in 2019, I believe it was, I first met Shamil, and he took me, into the sawit, and we were looking for Buruk Kentoy. And after that, of course, COVID happened, and nothing else moved until about 2022. And when I first came back again, so I thought I would come to retake my shots. So then that's when I met up with Shamil again, and we went to retake shots, and that's when we found out about the grant by Think City for the Northern region.
When we found out that Think City has got budgets for conservation purposes in and around the region, we made an application, got it approved, and thereafter we were guided by Think City. I would say it's eye-opening because, as you know, Think City has got vast experience in conservation projects or efforts, and being able to be guided by the team from Think City meant a lot. We are able to complete this project within a short period of 9 to 12 months, which is a vast difference. I'm an outdoor guy. I do a lot of runs here around the vicinity of Bukit Larut. Based on the passion I have to make Taiping a trail running and hiking destination, I took the opportunity to actually set up a place like Maxwell Basecamp, whereby we are able to give the whole place a facelift befitting of Taiping, so that any visitors that come here will be able to enjoy the nature as well. Once the site has been completed, we actually open it up to the public. We have got activities like pop-up green markets. We have got yoga classes. What I would like to say is that by supporting a conservation effort like this, there is a chain reaction down the line, whereby the locals are able to benefit economically from it as well.
Ia sederhana ajalah, kermi lo senuka je.
Projek yang kami berkolaborasi dengan Think City adalah projek music video. Mula kita orang berbincang lah daripada awal proses ni kami buat. Lepas tu kami libatkan dengan 2-3 orang kawan untuk penyediaan kertas kerja. Of course, masalah utama adalah dana lah. Pada masa yang sama juga, kami dapat tahu Think City menawarkan dana. Jadi kami cubalah. Bagi saya, mudah dan senang lah kan. Tak adalah apa ni sangat sebab kita submitkan proposal apa semua. Throughout the time kita ada satu macam perhubungan apa semua kan. Bagi saya projek ni memang amat penting lah. Matlamat utama adalah untuk menaikkan jati diri belia-belia orang asli lah. Apa yang kami buat ni sebenarnya kami plan untuk buat berterusan lah supaya dapat memberi inspirasi yang berterusan kepada komuniti orang asli lah. Sebab apa yang kami buat ni bukan local community saja. Kami dapat inspirekan orang asli di negeri-negeri lain. Kita dapat sparkkan keadaan tu supaya orang macam dia, saya pun nak buat. Kalau dia boleh buat, saya pun boleh buat macam tu lah.
I was given a heads up by someone from Think City about Northern Region grant that Think City was giving out and encouraged me to apply. So I immediately put together a project about Wang Kelian because this is a beautiful place. It is magical. It's incredible to be here and it's incredible to know that there's so much biodiversity as well. There's 7 species of primate within Wang Kelian itself, and that is the highest count in the whole country. I was very clear that I wanted to do a publication because I'm a photographer, right? Then I thought it would also be nice to do a documentary because I think it's really important that as Malaysians, we document ourselves. It is a challenge. So I thought if I can do this documentary and just put it out there, even if it's on YouTube, who knows, it might change something. And that was all we really intended to do. Just to put a baseline out there and say, if in 10 years' time or in 20 years' time, someone comes and wants to do another documentary and follow up, at least there's a baseline. That's how we preserve our roots, that's how we preserve our heritage, our history, that's how we strengthen the bonds with each other through the distance of time.
Pada masa ni saya telah membina balai di kampung saya dan balai ini bertujuan tempat saya berkongsi ilmu dan juga tempat saya membawa kembali pengetahuan-pengetahuan yang lama kepada generasi baru dan saya berkongsi kepada semua, tidak kira lah selain daripada generasi orang asli, saya juga berkongsi dengan semua orang. Yang penting saya nak menghidupkan pengetahuan tu, saya nak menghidupkan segala adat-adat dan juga segala budaya dan warisan tu, dan di masa akan datang balai ini akan menjadi satu akademi seni warisan orang asli.
We don't have enough documentation, we don't have enough documentaries, we don't have enough public access of information and knowledge, we don't have central repositories that are easy to navigate, so it is a challenge. And of course, there was also an exhibition in Kuala Perlis that was specifically for the local population because we thought we need to get more locals aware of what they have here. It's beautiful here. It's more than enough for them to develop a healthy ecotourism industry, for example, which would generate more income, more economic opportunities, more social mobility opportunities without people having to leave Perlis and going to a bigger city. So that was all we could hope to at least try.
Malaysia Mountain Trail Festival, or MMTF consultant, the holder of this grant from Think City, we have managed to reel in the UTMB World Series to Malaysia. With that, people is going to know Malaysia now via a project that is supported by Think City. Our goal in the long run is that we want to make this place inclusive, not only for the team and I, but then for the global community. I hope that the team will be able to make this place self-sustaining in years to come. I would like to see a new generation managing this place and taking it up as their own.
Working with Think City was an absolute joy, really a joy. I mean, they were very supportive and they saw immediately how much Perlis and in particular Wang Kelian had to offer. What untapped potential there is here in this forgotten, beautiful part of the country. I think what Think City is doing is such a vital and necessary endeavor because a lot of the northern region, by and large, has been overlooked. This vision by Think City is crucial and it needs to be supported. Not just supported for short term, it needs to go on beyond 1 year, 2 year. And it's very real to the people who are receiving this income and these opportunities. So I would really like to thank Think City for spearheading the Wang Kelian project, and I hope we can do more in the future for them too.
Sejujurnya saya berterima kasih kepada Think City lah kerana memberi kami peluang dan memberi kepercayaan kepada kami sebagai penerima grant dan kami dah laksanakan dengan jayanya. Bagi saya, Think City adalah satu entiti yang bagus dan mereka memilih projek-projek yang ada impact dan saya harap macam kerajaan pun support lah Think City ni dan kalau boleh setiap tahun bagilah banyak lagi dekat dana kat Think City supaya Think City boleh memperluaskan lagi pemberian grant tu kepada badan-badan ataupun kepada NGO-NGO yang memerlukan dana lah untuk melakukan sesuatu yang boleh memberi impact kepada komuniti. Dan saya harap di masa akan datang Think City ni berkembang dengan lebih lagi lah.
This conservation and sustainable for me are important owing to the fact that if you do not preserve them, you will not know your roots. And if you do not know your roots, how can you be proud of them? Or how can you be proud of yourself? I think the efforts that Think City is doing throughout the country, not only in Perak, needs to be applauded. Whatever they are doing preaches conservation and sustainability, and it's something that we at MMTF actually supports thoroughly, owing to the fact that without this effort, our future generation will not be able to learn about our history or our roots.
I think the Northern Region project needs to engage with more local communities along the way in the future. We need a lot more case studies done. We need a lot more research done because there's still so many unknowns in the Northern region. But all this needs funding. And this funding is not something that's cosmetic, right? Because this funding is able to deliver a long-term impact. I think it's very important that we should uphold and preserve our traditions, culture, heritage, and nature, because without this, we have no identity. It's time we stopped making excuses for why we don't know or whose fault it is that we don't know. I think we need to take responsibility and be more curious for ourselves. We're not going to be able to know everything, right? But the least we can do is find out about what's in our own backyard. Malaysia is not the Klang Valley, nor does the Klang Valley represent the rest of the country. So once we get through that mindset barrier, then we can really truly talk about working together as a whole nation. It is now up to us in the present to do what we can to preserve what we have so that we can be responsible stewards to pass it on to a younger generation as intact as possible so that they can then also move forward with their own dreams, with their own visions.